This is the story of my first job. It's my first real job. I worked many odd jobs as a kid, little yard work and things around here like that, but I never worked a real job as a real employee with a real boss. It was early spring. I had just turned 15. I remember it was really warm. I know it is kind of North Carolina, but it was a lot warm, really warm for spring. I had really long hair. I've always had long hair since I can remember, because my father shaved me bald when I was 9 and scarred me for life. So I asked my mother for a haircut. The haircutting lady, Miss Amy, had always come to our house ever since COVID had hit, and she would cut it, we'd pay her, and go. So she came one day, and we were just talking. So basically, she asked if I wanted a job. Like I said, I never had a job before. I'd never done anything like that. I said, of course, that sounds like money. So I asked her what it was. She said it was for a boat rental company for her mom, who I come to find out later would be Miss Suzanne, who would be my boss for the next 3 years. I asked for her contact, and it kind of went from there. I called her. She was a super nice lady, and it kind of went something like this. She basically asked how old I was for all my information. I gave it to her. She said to come in, and she started me on training. The job was simple, really simple. In the mornings, I would go show people how to drive a boat, and they'd take it out. And at the night, I'd make sure it all was in one piece, and then check them out, and I'd be good. A couple problems. Well, the boat was never in one piece when it came back, and I didn't know how to drive a boat. That was kind of the issue with the boat. I had never driven one. So I got there on my first day, and I told her that. She said it was all right, and she said that I would be trained. So I met the whole staff, which was all really nice people. And I basically was partnered up with one of them. There's a girl named Jo. She was an interesting character, to say the least, and slightly lazy. So I learned very quickly because I did everything for her. But it all ended up pretty good. I learned, the more work I did there, the more I actually liked it. And it went really well for the first couple weeks. And then the first thunderstorm hit. It was a very bad thunderstorm. The thing about working at the lake is it lightnings and there's water all around you. So I remember very clearly, it was almost all the boats were in but 2. It was about 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. I was getting ready to leave because my boss told me to go in a boat floated off the bank. I started floating into the middle of the lake. So I was one of the only staff members left, and I didn't know what to do. And my boss said, get in the water. I didn't want to get in the water because there was lightning everywhere, and it was thundering, and it was pouring rain, and I could not see anything. But I did it because I was a good employee. I had always made that very clear that I was going to be the best employee I could possibly be. So there I was, about neck deep in Falls Lake, thundering, lightning all around, pouring down rain, trying to sort out this boat. At this point, I'm thinking, what am I doing with my life? I don't know what is happening. And finally, I start swimming. I can't feel the bottom anymore. I feel like fish brush my legs. It was cold. I remember it was very cold. And it ended up, I got a hold of the boat right before I was going to give out. I got a hold of it. I hoisted myself up onto the boat, and I went to turn it on, and it wouldn't start. So then I was sitting there, paddling a boat in the pouring down rain, thunder and lightning everywhere. I was miserable, and I just broke down, and I just started crying. And then I just looked at myself and I said, why am I crying? I've done harder stuff than this. No, I hadn't. I had never done harder stuff than that, but I was telling myself I had. And I was like, I can do this. So I been around the boat a lot. Finally got to start. I drove that thing. Well, I was like almost a mile into the lake at this point. I drove that thing pouring down rain. I couldn't see anything. I was freezing cold, soaked to the bone. Finally got back to the bank. And then I just fell. I just laid on the ground for a good 30 minutes in the pouring rain. And I always remember that story just because I learned that even convincing myself of something that wasn't true, I still managed to be able to push through that, to push through my being miserable and not knowing what to do. But and it went pretty well after that. I never had too many more issues with Java than some crazy people. But at the end of the day, I look forward to every summer. So, yeah.
Great.